The Lord is saying to someone today, it's time to train your flesh. He says your flesh lacks discipline, and when the flesh lacks discipline, it begins to lead instead of being led. You become governed by what your body wants rather than by the spirit living inside of you. The Lord says, I see your desire. You desire to hear me. You desire fresh revelation. You desire closeness, intimacy, and alignment with me. He says, but your flesh has created a wedge between us. It's time to die to the flesh so that I may come alive in you, he says. God is saying very clearly to someone, the number one thing standing in the way of intimacy with me, standing in the way of discernment, standing in the way of hearing what I want to say to you is your inability to tell your flesh no. He says your inability to put the food down, your inability to deny cravings, your inability to starve the flesh for the sake of awakening the spirit. He says everything your flesh wants, you give it. Every craving, every impulse, every desire. He says, and because of this, you can no longer hear your own spirit speaking. You can no longer hear my spirit speaking to you. He says your flesh has become undisciplined. It's running loose. It's running rampant over your spirit. And it's time to bring it under control. He says there's a reason I call you to fast. And it's not only so you can spend quiet time with me. It's so your flesh learns who is in charge. He says it's so your flesh comes into submission under the spirit within you. It's so your flesh understands what sustains you is not food, not drink, and not anything external, but it's internal and it's spiritual. God says your flesh does not rule you. It does not control you. It does not have authority over you. When you tell it to settle, it must settle. The Lord says, I've seen your attempts. You start and then you stop. You try and then you quit. He says it has been a constant battle of the flesh trying to overtake the spirit. He says, hear me clearly. When the flesh is leading the body, anything can happen because you're no longer the one in control. Your emotions become unstable. Your reactions become out of order. Your discernment becomes cloudy. Your clarity becomes blocked. He says, but when the flesh is brought into submission to the spirit, everything else comes into alignment. God says what you call mind over matter is simply spirit over flesh. It's consciousness over matter. It's the spirit ruling the body. And when that order is restored, there's nothing you cannot do. He says you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So stop telling yourself you can't do it. That's your flesh speaking, he says. Your flesh has no authority. You tell your flesh what you're doing because I placed you in control of this body. He says, and until the body is brought under submission, you will continue to feel disconnected, unclear, uncertain of what I'm saying, uncertain of yourself. The spirit does not compete with the flesh, he says. The spirit is called to rule over it. And until your flesh is brought into order, clarity will remain blocked. This is a word that he gave me today, and it really blessed me. So I pray that it blesses you. And if it resonates with you, I ask that you take it back to the Father as always for confirmation so he can give you instruction, direction, and clarity on how he wants you to move forward. But I love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye.